Peace and blessings, my collective. Welcome back from the trenches to the cosmos, where we take life lessons from the trenches and align them with the wisdom of the universe. Now today, we're talking about Pluto in the first house. Yeah, welcome to my Pluto series, y'all. This is one right here. This isn't surface level stuff, though. This goes into identity, power, and that version of yourself you had to become just to survive. Now, before we go in deeper, those who are not that advanced in astrology understand as we move through the houses that the house shows the area of life, the planet shows their energy, and the sign shows how that energy expresses itself. So, with Pluto in the first house, this isn't happening in your relationships area. This isn't, which is seventh house. This is not happening in your money area, which is the second house. This is happening to you, through your first house, your identity, your personality, your presence. And depending on what sign is in your first house, that Pluto energy is going to express itself differently. But the core remains the same. Alright? Now, Pluto in the first house. This isn't just about transformation. It's the formation of your identity through power and control. This is how you show up in the world. Your personality, your presence, the energy people feel from you even before you speak. And with Pluto here, nothing about you is like, listen, but this just didn't come out of nowhere, right? This placement usually starts early. At some point in your life, you felt exposed and vulnerable, like you didn't have control of the environment. So, when this happens, you start to adapt. You build a version of yourself that says, yo, I need to be strong. I need to be in control. I can't afford to be weak. And that becomes your identity. So as you grow, you don't just exist like other people. You analyze yourself constantly. How you act, how you move, how you come across, how people perceive you. And if something doesn't feel right, you try to fix it immediately. There's the constant pressure, though, to improve, to become perfect, and to become strong all the time. And here's where it gets real, because now you can become overly critical about yourself. Nothing feels like it's enough. You might not even like who you see at times. And instead of just being, you start to control. You start controlling your behavior, you start controlling your image, controlling your environment. Sometimes controlling the people around you without even you realize. You don't even realize that you're doing it. And it's not because you're bad, but because somewhere deep down, not being in control, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel safe. So how does it show up for you? A lot of times, you build strength on the outside, a strong presence, intense personality, disciplined habits, and even physical transformations. And you want people to see you as powerful, unshakable, but underneath that, there's a part of you that never wants to feel exposed again. Now, here's the part that people don't talk about enough, though. With this placement, it gives you something real powerful. You can read people. You pick up on energy. That sense, you can sense what's not being said, even on a psychological level, without even people explaining it to you. That's why in your presence, things feel intense, because you can see and feel things. But if you're not aware of this, life becomes a cycle. You build yourself up, pressure builds, something breaks, you rebuild again, over and over and over again, because anything built from control instead of awareness eventually collapses. So, what's the goal here? It's not to control everything. It's not to be perfect. It's not to dominate your environment. It's to understand yourself on a deeper level, right? That you don't need to control anymore. That's your real power. And that requires doing something most people avoid, which is the shadow work, going back to the earlier versions of yourself in the past. Past experiences, moments where you felt powerless. And instead of judging that version of you, you understand it. You sit with it. You give it a hug. You forgive it. You release it. Because a lot of what you carry today didn't just start today. See, Pluto in the first house doesn't make you intense for no reason. It made you this way to survive something. But you're not here just to survive anymore. You're here to understand that version of yourself. You're here to understand it so it doesn't control who you become next. Alright? That's what I have for you, Pluto in the first house. From the trenches to the cosmos. Stay tapped in.